There's a reason why I'm naming this Hillary and Trump, Battle of the Sexes. Hillary just seems to be losing it right now. She realizes she's losing her polls, her crowds are small, and so she needs to come up with a plan. Oh, let's come up with a scandal. Let's say Donald Trump sexually assaulted women. Well, look at her husband. But she has her little friend Michelle with her speech that she had a couple of days ago, for women's rights, rah, 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 and was saying she couldn't believe how horrible Donald Trump was, and she couldn't mention what he said because it was so horrible, and however she wasn't going to leave anything swept under the carpet. Well, Bill Clinton's past was swept under the carpet, and so was Hillary Clinton's. And it seems like you're just really triggered because a lot of people are not falling for it, and people are believing Donald Trump. It's sad. You and your mainstream media that you own, you're not credible anymore. You're trying to come up with these allegations and stuff, and it's falling apart. And the only thing that the mainstream media that you own, which is not credible anymore, keep up with this sex allegations, or how he called someone Miss Piggy, and just basically using that as a platform, and that's all you got? Is that your only ammunition? I swear to God. The mainstream media, like I said, it's not credible anymore. A lot of people are going to the alternative. So, yeah, on with the videos. Okay, here's little precious Hillary Clinton wanting to exploit us women, minorities, disabled. This is her platform, just mudslinging, saying that, Trump doesn't care. And we're talking about a woman who doesn't give a rat's ass about women in general. Protecting her husband to the teeth with his scandals and raping and assaulting women, and then saying that Donald Trump does the same thing when he just did locker room talk. She doesn't have real policies, and she really doesn't have any jobs. She's just trying to win Democratic votes. And then when she's president, there's not going to be any jobs. Everybody's going to be on welfare, and it's going to get worse. Especially, different minorities. They look up to the Democratic Party, but, a lot of them are starting to switch. But anyway, let's listen to this nut.
Well, like everyone else, I've spent a lot of time thinking over the last 48 hours about what we heard and saw. With prior Republican nominees for president, I disagreed with them on politics, policies, principles, but I never questioned their fitness to serve. Donald Trump is different. I said starting back in June that he was not fit to be president and commander-in-chief. And many Republicans and independents have said the same thing. What we all saw and heard on Friday was Donald talking about women, what he thinks about women, what he does to women.
Okay, what he's done to women? I know the New York Times came up and some other magazines saying that women have come forward, but it proved to be bogus. He even mentioned it in his rally, and I'll have a clip of that too. But even People magazine, one of the women that he was interviewed by, said that he tried to do sexual advances and sexually assaulted her, which is proved to be wrong. Yeah, it's just these women they're bogus. In fact, one of them was supposed to be Miss Washington, going for Miss Universe. Well, I live here in Washington State, and that's turned out to be bogus. But hey, if everybody wants to believe Hillary Clinton, well, yeah. Anyway, on with the rest of this little show.
And he has said that the video doesn't represent who he is. But I think it's clear to anyone who heard it that it represents exactly who he is. Because we've seen this throughout the campaign. We have seen him insult women. We've seen him rate women on their appearance, ranking them from 1 to 10.
He was running the Miss Universe pageants. Of course he's going to rate the women. They're supposed to be, you know, representing different countries. And they signed contracts. Of course he's going to rate them. And yeah, he called that woman Miss Piggy. Lottie frickin' da, she signed a contract to stay a certain shape. But Hillary's just pathetic.
We've seen him embarrass women on TV and on Twitter. We saw him after the first debate spend nearly a week denigrating a former Miss Universe in the harshest, most personal terms. So, yes, this is who Donald Trump is. Women, and it's not only this video that...
Okay. I want to say this for all women, even ones who are feminist, third-wave feminist. I mean, really feminist. If a man says something to you, let it roll off your back, because you want to know why? They want to argue. And nowadays, they have their little camera phones. And if they can insult you and make you argue and yell and cuss, they're going to film that, and they're going to put it on YouTube or some other platform to make you look ridiculous, and have their little compilations. I've watched those, and some feminists just go nuts. Now I'm the kind of feminist that figures I'm going to let it roll off my back. You know why? Because I am a strong woman. I'm not a victim. And so I let it roll off my back, and I'm not going to give the time of day to somebody that wants to argue with me. They can make fun of my body, so what? They can make fun of my face or my age. I'm an old grandma, so what? I'm not going to sit there and let somebody insult me and have me argue back with them so they can catch it on their camera phone and put it on the internet and make me look like an ass and have me in one of their little compilations. Just walk away, you know. And it goes vice versa. Us women say bad things to men, and those men end up arguing, and we get our phones out and start filming. It's not fair. It goes both ways. Men insult women, and us women insult men. So, Hillary, you're an idiot.
Raises questions about his fitness to be our president, because he has also targeted immigrants, African Americans, Latinos, people with disabilities, POWs, Muslims, and so many others. So this is who Donald Trump is. And the question for us, the question our country must answer, is that this is not who we are. That's why, to go back to your question, I want to send a message, we all should, to every boy and girl, and indeed to the entire world, that America already is great, but we are great because we are good. And we will respect one another, and we will work with one another, and we will celebrate our diversity. These are very important values to me, because this is the America that I know and love. And I can pledge to you tonight that this is the America that I will serve if I'm so fortunate enough to become your president.
Okay, the America we know and love under the Obama years, it's been degrading. The lies, everything else, the wars, her funding ISIS, Jesus, her emails, scandals, what her husband did, and not only that, yeah, we don't need the rapist in the White House again. only he'll be the first husband. Uh, she doesn't represent us women. She's just using us. She's using us as a platform to try and smear Donald Trump. And the mainstream media is at fault too, because she owns them. She owns CNN. I don't fall for her crap. She's dangerous, and with her and Obama working together recently, putting a no-fly zone over Syria and shoot anything down, it's starting a war with Russia, and this could start World War III, and it seems that Obama is doing anything he can to screw up the country before we vote for the next president.
And we want to get to some questions
Well, am I
from
allowed to
online.
respond to that? I assume I am.
Yes, you can respond to that.
It's just words, folks. It's just words. Those words, I've been hearing them for many years. I heard them when they were running for the Senate in New York, where Hillary was going to bring back jobs to upstate New York, and she failed. I've heard them where Hillary is constantly talking about the inner cities of our country, which are a disaster, education-wise, job-wise, safety-wise, in every way possible. I'm going to help the African Americans. I'm going to help the Latinos, Hispanics. I am going to help the inner cities. She's done a terrible job for the African Americans. She wants their vote, and she does nothing, and then she comes back 4 years later. We saw that firsthand when she was a United States Senator. She campaigned where the primary part of her campaign.
I want to get to audience questions and online questions.
So she's allowed to do that, but I'm not allowed to respond.
You're going to get to respond.
If you can see, Donald Trump does have a plan. He does. He has a plan. And he basically explained how Hillary is Killery. But they interrupt him. And the mainstream media and her keep up with these allegations of him groping and sexually assaulting and having women come forward. It's all a distraction to what's really going on. And he has to constantly defend himself, but you know what? He's got good plans, and he wants to help the African Americans. And Hillary has so many broken promises that I don't see how anybody would want to vote for her. Okay, here it is, another one, another video for rah, rah, rah feminism and a bunch of bull. But you know, I have never seen a president and his first lady campaign so hard for a candidate running for president. It's almost pathetic. But anyway, here we go.
So I'm going to get a little serious here, because I think we can all agree that this has been a rough week in an already rough election. This week has been particularly interesting for me personally because it has been a week of profound contrast. See, on Tuesday at the White House, we celebrated the International Day of the Girl and Let Girls Learn. And it was a wonderful celebration. It was the last event that I'm going to be doing as First Lady for Let Girls Learn. And I had the pleasure of spending hours talking to some of the most amazing young women you will ever meet, young girls here in the U.S. and all around the world. And
Really? Around the world? How about the Middle East and Africa? How about those girls that are mutilated? There is a thing called female circumcision. I'm not going to explain it because it's pretty disgusting and graphic. What about the girls that are stoned to death? What about the ones that are burned? What about the ones that are sold into the sex slave trade, huh? What about the girls that are killed? Oh, that's right. You can't speak to the girls that are killed because they're dead. And what about some of the girls in Europe? A lot of the radicals are moving up into Europe, and those girls are getting raped. Yeah. Did you talk to them?
We talked about their hopes and their dreams. We talked about their aspirations. See, because many of these girls have faced unthinkable obstacles just to attend school, jeopardizing their personal safety, their freedom, risking the rejection of their families and communities. So I thought it would be important to remind these young women how valuable and precious they are. I wanted them to understand that the measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
Society, how it treats its women and girls. How about, again, like I mentioned, Middle East, Africa, parts of Europe. Come on now. It's not just here in America. Okay?
And I told them that they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And I told them that they should disregard anyone who demeans or devalues them, and that they should make their voices heard in the world. And I walked away feeling so inspired, just like I'm inspired by all the young people here. And I was so uplifted by these girls.
Uplifted? You should be feeling sorry for some of the girls around the world. The hell they went through and their obstacles.
That was Tuesday. And now here I am, out on the campaign trail in an election where we have consistently been hearing hurtful, hateful language about women.
Let it roll off the back. I know it's horrible.
Language that has been painful for so many of us, not just as women, but as parents trying to protect our children and raise them to be caring, respectful adults. And as citizens who think that our nation's leaders should meet basic standards of human decency. The fact is that in this election, we have a candidate for president of the United States who over the course of his lifetime, in the course of this campaign, has said things about women that are so shocking, so demeaning, that I simply will not repeat anything here today.
Okay. Maybe some of those things aren't true, and that's why you can't repeat it because you want to make it up. Now, some things were said, and it is locker room talk. But that's all it was between some men. And believe me, us women, we do the locker room talk too, like, hey, look at George's ass. I want that. We talk about their muscles, I'm talking about at the gym. We've said demeaning things about men.
And last week, we saw this candidate actually bragging about sexually assaulting women. And I can't believe that I'm saying that a candidate for president of the United States has bragged about sexually assaulting women.
Okay, lady, hold it right there. Bill Clinton not only bragged, but even before he became president and during his presidency, he raped, groped, sexually assaulted women. And guess what Hillary did? She swept it under the rug. She defended her husband right down to the skin of her teeth. And she was cruel to those women. Harassing, calling names. Jennifer Flowers, of course, she called trailer trash. I was in my 20s during those years. And when he became president, I was a little shocked because of all the scandal. And feminists were up in arms. I was up in arms. And he paid Paula Jones restitution. And you speak about young girls. And I've mentioned before, Hillary Clinton getting that man, off scot-free after raping a 12-year-old girl and putting her in a coma. What about her? She cannot have children, and she was never able to have children, and she wanted them so badly. What about that? You do not represent me. You were filth, and so is Hillary Clinton. And her laughing about the polygraph test. You guys don't give a rat's ass about us women. You're just saying it and it's all show.
And I have to tell you that I can't stop thinking about this. It has shaken me to my core in a way that I couldn't have predicted. So while I'd love nothing more than to pretend like this isn't happening and to come out here and do my normal campaign speech, it would be dishonest and disingenuous to me to just move on to the next thing like this was all just a bad dream.
I'll tell you what's a bad dream. I worked at St. Joseph Hospital for years, and I've seen rape victims. I've seen men who have come in also who are gay that had been raped. Men have been raped too, so it's not just us women. I've seen men who were beaten by their wives or their significant others by being hit in the head with either frying pans or sticks, or just beaten by another woman because they feel they cannot hit a woman back. Well, it goes both ways. Women get abused, and so do men. And that's what the true nightmare is. You were never a nurse. You've never seen these things. But I've seen them come in through the ER. And, yeah, it goes both ways. That's what the nightmare is. Seeing that.
This is not something that we can ignore. It's not something we can just sweep under the rug as just another disturbing footnote in a sad election season. Because this was not just a lewd conversation. This wasn't just locker room banter. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior.
Bill Clinton did the deed, lady. He didn't talk about sexually, just sexually assaulting. He did the deed, and that was swept under the carpet.
And actually bragging about kissing and groping women, using language so obscene that many of us were worried about our children hearing it when we turn on the TV.
Right there, the TV, the mainstream media that you own, Hillary Clinton owns, especially Hillary Clinton, that all the Democrats and the left, they own it. That's why we need to look at alternative media. I've had it with the speech. I'm sure you can find the rest of the speech here on YouTube, but I'm done. It's a way to exploit us women. That's all it is. They don't care about women, but they sure love to exploit us.
Bill Clinton, far worse, mine are words and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously. 4 of them here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped at 12. Her client,
Look at Bill Clinton's face. He's just sitting there just kind of dumbfounded. Like, oh, crap.
represented got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight. So don't tell me about words. I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say. But what President Clinton did. He was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000 fine to one of the women, Paula Jones, who's also here tonight. And I will tell you that when Hillary brings up a point like that, and she talks about words that I said 11 years ago, I think it's disgraceful, and I think she should be ashamed of herself, if you want to know the truth.
I think she should be ashamed of herself for everything. And the look on Bill Clinton's face is priceless. And what Donald Trump has said here, I've been saying it for a long time now. Now, I've had to re-edit this video. Somebody has put a copyright claim on my video, the last one I made. Hillary and Trump, Battle of the Sexes. Now I'm going to rename it something else. It was just right after, just seconds after I uploaded my video, I get a notice for a copyright claim, and it's now demonetized. So I had to re-edit this, and I'm reposting it. And for God's sake, if they try to do something else, and it was by Time Inc., never heard of them. But anyway, I am going to rename this Hillary and Trump, the Mudslinging. Anyway, you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you see this. And please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. And my God, I can't believe it. Just seconds after I uploaded it, boom, got a notice in my email that it was copyright. And I even put in front of the video, and in this one, the fair use federal warning. Well, you'll see it in the beginning of this video. It was all under fair use. Anyway, enough of my little rant. I guess that's it. And again, thank you for watching.